Have you ever looked in a mirror and seen exactly what you were supposed to see? The perfect reflection, the right smile, the right clothes, the right life? For 10 years, that mirror was my marriage, and I was the quiet wife, the one in the background, the steady hand that kept the glass from cracking. My name is Elena, and this is the story of how I discovered that the mirror was never glass. It was a one-way window. And on the other side was a truth so cold it shattered my world into a million silent pieces. My husband, Mark, successful, charming, the kind of man who commanded a room simply by walking into it. We built this life together. At least that's what I believed. Our story was a textbook romance. College sweethearts, the struggle years in a tiny apartment eating noodles and dreaming big. Then his consulting firm took off. The money came. This house, the cars, the vacations that looked incredible on social media. My role evolved from partner to supporter, from supporter to manager of the beautiful life he needed to present to the world. I didn't mind, or I told myself I didn't. Love is sacrifice, right? Love is being the calm behind his storm. That was our script. His lines, vague about work, affectionate but distant. My lines, understanding, waiting, keeping the home fires burning. I spoke softly.
Think outside
I
the
never
box.
demanded. I was the peaceful haven he returned to. But peace can start to feel like silence, and silence can start to feel like being invisible. I felt the distance growing like a vine between us, but I watered it with excuses, stress, pressure, the price of success. I was so busy polishing the mirror of our life, I didn't notice I was becoming a ghost in my own home. The first thread. Isn't it always something small? A loose string you pull without thinking, and suddenly the whole sweater unravels. It was a bank notification for an account I knew about, our joint savings, but the amount transferred was wrong. It was $5,000 less than the automatic deposit from Mark's business should have been. A mistake, probably. A glitch. That's what the quiet wife does. She assumes the best. She doesn't make waves. But something, a tiny frozen knot in my stomach, told me to look. I pulled up the statements. For the last 6 months, the transfers had been slowly, steadily decreasing. Not by a lot, just enough to be explained away. Business cash flow, he'd say. Temporary adjustments. The quiet wife would nod and accept. But that night, the silence in the house was screaming. For the first time in years, I didn't just accept, I calculated. Over 6 months, nearly $30,000 was missing from what should have hit our shared account. Where did it go? A smarter woman, a louder woman, might have confronted him right then. But the quiet wife, we are observers. We move in the spaces people think don't matter. I decided to wait, to watch. The mirror was still perfectly in place, but my reflection in it was starting to change. I became an archaeologist of my own life, digging through the layers of our routine. I found nothing obvious, no lipstick on collars, no perfume smells. Mark was too careful, too smart for that. His betrayal, if it was one, was not of the heart, but of the ledger. It was financial, and that felt even colder. What was he hiding, and why? Was it debt? Gambling? Another life? The questions were whispers at first. Then they became a roaring in my ears every time I smiled and said, "How was your day, dear?" And then, one rainy Tuesday afternoon, while he was in the shower, his personal phone buzzed on the nightstand with a notification from an app I'd never seen before. An app with a logo that looked like a sleek silver vault. And the notification preview read, "Your monthly deposit of $7,500 to Haven account is complete." My blood turned to ice. Haven account. What was Haven? The water in the shower stopped. I had seconds. Do I look, or do I go back to being the quiet wife and live with the roar? I reached for the phone, and in that moment, the woman in the mirror, she finally stepped out. Time slows down in moments like these. The space between one heartbeat and the next stretches into an eternity. Haven account. 2 words that meant nothing and everything. The shower water had stopped. The quiet wife would have put the phone down, walked away, buried the curiosity with a shovel of doubt. But that woman was gone, replaced by someone with ice in her veins and a single burning question. What are you hiding from me, Mark? Locked. Of course it was locked. A vault needs a key. I placed the phone back exactly as it was, millimeters mattering, my breath caught in my throat. Mark emerged, a towel around his waist, smiling that absent, handsome smile. Anything important? He asked, nodding at his phone. The test. The casual, deadly test. Just the weather, I said, my voice as smooth as glass. More rain. He believed me. Why wouldn't he? The quiet wife only cares about the weather. Haven account. It became my obsession. It was a ghost, a digital footprint. If I couldn't get into his phone, I had to find another way. I started with what I knew, our taxes. I had copies of everything. The quiet wife is excellent at paperwork. I combed through every file document, every declared account. Nothing called Haven. It was invisible, a secret ledger. That meant it was deliberate. This wasn't a mistake or a forgotten fund. This was a construction, built brick by brick in the shadows. I learned. The quiet wife became a scholar of financial secrecy. I learned about custodial accounts, numbered entities, trusts with innocent names. I felt like I was in a dark room, feeling the walls for a crack. And then I remembered the laptop, the new one, always with him. But he had an old one, a personal laptop from years ago, tucked in the basement storage. Did he wipe it? Maybe, maybe not. The old laptop, a time capsule from before the distance, before the success. I tried every password I could think of, our wedding date, his old college football number, our dog's name, nothing. I was about to give up when I looked at the sticky note still stuck to the lid. In my own handwriting from a lifetime ago.
Think outside the box.
Mark, password for router, Blue House 202. Our first home, the noodle apartment. He'd used that for everything back then. With a trembling finger, I typed it in. It opened, and there they were, pictures of us, young, in love, our eyes full of futures, not secrets. It was a punch to the heart, but I couldn't get sentimental. I was a detective now. I searched for files, for spreadsheets, for any clue, and then I found it. A folder simply labeled Tax Docs, Old. Inside, a PDF from a private bank, a statement from 3 years ago for an account named M&E Holdings, our initials. My hope of foolish, fluttering things sparked. Was this a surprise? A gift? M&E Holdings. It sounded like us, a team, but the address, it wasn't our home, it wasn't his office, it was a P.O. box downtown. And the contact email, it wasn't his work or personal email, it was a string of numbers and letters at a generic mail service. This was a ghost account. But why keep a record here on an old laptop? Maybe he forgot, or maybe, in his mind, this was still our money, just elsewhere. I needed the current details. And then I saw it. At the bottom of the statement, in tiny print, online access, www.securevaultprime.com. Secure Vault Prime. It looked like the app icon on his phone. This was the door, and I had a possible key. The username was the account number from the statement. The password, I tried Blue House 2021. Access denied. I tried every variation. Nothing. I was locked out. The vault was sealed. The frustration was a physical ache. I had the door, but I couldn't walk through it. She leans back, defeated. Then her eyes fall on a notepad in the box under the laptop. It's Mark's old handwriting, to-do lists, ideas, and on one corner, a scribbled note. Call Dr. Avery, re-secure line. Passcode, her birthday, 0615, ? Her birthday. Her birthday. Not mine. My birthday is in March, 0312. Her birthday. Who was her? The ice in my veins turned to a glacial flood. This wasn't about hidden debts. This wasn't about a business cushion. This was about a person, a her. The note was old, but the password? What if he was sentimental? What if he used her birthday for something? With hands that felt numb, I went back to the Prime Vault login. For the password, I typed 0615. It worked. The world dropped out under my feet. The password to our secret vault was another woman's birthday. I was inside, and what I saw there, it wasn't just a hidden account, it was a hidden life. Haven account. There it was, a checking account with over $200,000, an investment portfolio, automatic payments for property tax on an alpine cabin? We didn't own a cabin. And Crestview Montessori, tuition? We didn't have children. The screen blurred, the numbers swam. Each line item was a bullet, and they were all hitting me at once. A cabin, a school, monthly deposits of $7,500 for years. This wasn't an affair. This was a parallel universe, a second family, funded by our money, my money, the money from the years of struggle, the money I'd helped him build, the security for our future. It was paying for his other life? The betrayal was so vast, so calculated, it left no room for tears. There was only a silence so deep and so cold, it felt like the void of space. He hadn't just lied, he'd undone our marriage, brick by brick, and used the materials to build a palace for someone else. He had made me a silent investor in my own ruin. The quiet wife was gone. In her place was someone else, someone with nothing left to lose, and she was just getting started. I printed everything, every statement, every transaction, the evidence of my own erasure. And as the printer hummed in the silent basement, a plan began to form in the icy clarity of my shock. It wasn't enough to expose him. He was too clever for a simple confrontation. He'll talk, he'll explain, he'll gaslight. I needed to do more. I needed to dismantle the world he'd built in the shadows, the same way he'd dismantled mine. Mark thought he had a vault, but I was about to become the earthquake. The printer sang a song of betrayal. Each page was a ledger entry from a life I wasn't living. The alpine cabin, Crestview Montessori, the monthly $7,500 labeled household support. I felt like a ghost reading my own obituary. The shock was a physical weight, pressing me into the cold basement chair. But beneath the weight, something else was stirring. A cold, clear fury. Not a burning fire, but a slab of Arctic granite. It was solid, it was patient, and it had a purpose. Grief would come later. Right now, I needed clarity. I was no longer Elena, the quiet wife. I was the architect, and to dismantle his secret palace, I first needed its blueprints. Every brick, every wire, every hidden door. Confrontation was a child's weapon. It led to drama, to lies, to messy emotions. I didn't want drama. I wanted justice. I wanted the silent, undeniable truth to stand in the room like a monument, so tall and so real that his lies would simply echo pointlessly against it and fade away. I started with the cabin. The property tax statement had a parcel number, a location. The printer sang a song of betrayal. Each page was a ledger entry from a life I wasn't living. The alpine cabin, Crestview Montessori, the monthly $7,500 labeled household support. I felt like a ghost reading my own obituary. The shock was a physical weight, pressing me into the cold basement chair. But beneath the weight, something else was stirring. A cold, clear fury. Not a burning fire, but a slab of Arctic granite. It was solid, it was patient, and it had a purpose. Grief would come later. Right now, I needed clarity. I was no longer Elena, the quiet wife. I was the architect, and to dismantle his secret palace, I first needed its blueprints. Every brick, every wire, every hidden door. Confrontation was a child's weapon. It led to drama, to lies, to messy emotions. I didn't want drama. I wanted justice. I wanted the silent, undeniable truth to stand in the room like a monument, so tall and so real that his lies would simply echo pointlessly against it and fade away. I started with the cabin. The property tax statement had a parcel number, a location, Whispering Pines, a luxury mountain community 2 hours north. I searched county records online. The deed was not in Mark's name. It was held by an LLC, Haven Crest Properties. A shell, a pretty name for a hiding place. I traced the LLC's registered agent. It was a law firm downtown, one I'd never heard of. Not his corporate firm. This was a firm specializing in discrete asset management. Of course, Crestview Montessori was next, an exclusive private school. I couldn't call and ask questions, but their website had a parent portal login. A forgotten password link often asks for an email. I tried every email permutation of Mark's name I could think of. Nothing. Then I remembered the generic email from the old bank statement. I typed it into the forgot password field. Bingo. A reset link was sent to that address, an address I couldn't access. But it told me everything. He was using that ghost email for this, for the school of her child. Her, the unnamed her with the birthday 0615. I needed a name. The school wouldn't give it to me. The cabin was under an LLC. I had to think like him. Mark was meticulous, but he was also arrogant. He believed the quiet wife was blind. He might have left a trail in the places he felt safest. I logged into our shared cloud storage, where we kept family photos, scanned documents. I searched for June 15th or 0615 in the metadata of files. There, a PDF from a high-end jewelry store dated June 10th of last year, a receipt for a pair of diamond earrings purchased for $4,200. The billing address was our home. The shipping address was a P.O. box, the same P.O. box from the old bank statement. My heart didn't break, it crystallized. He'd bought her diamonds with money from our joint account and shipped them to his secret box. And on the receipt, in the special instructions field, a note. For S, with all my love, happy birthday, my angel. S. Her name started with S. He wouldn't be connected to her openly, not on his main profiles, but he had a ghost email, a ghost account. What about a ghost social profile? I created a new blank profile, a generic name, no photo. I searched the ghost email address as a username across platforms. Nothing. Then I searched the email itself in quotation marks, and on a professional networking site, a profile appeared for a woman named Sienna Rhodes. Her profile was sparse, a headshot of a beautiful, smiling woman in her 30s. Her headline, interior design consultant, specializing in bespoke mountain homes. Her contact email was the ghost email. Sienna Rhodes, interior design, for mountain
outside the box.
homes, like an alpine cabin. The pieces slammed together with a sound only I could hear. This was her, the angel, the mother of the child at Crestview Montessori, the beneficiary of the Haven account. I felt a strange detachment, like I was studying a predator's habitat. This was the woman he built a life with, a life funded by my silence. The picture was becoming horrifyingly clear. I wasn't just betrayed, I was replaced, and I was paying for my own replacement. The monthly $7,500 wasn't just support, it was a salary for Sienna, for the privilege of being his real wife in the mountains. The quiet wife in the city was the front, the respectable cover, the tax advantage maybe. The thought was so degrading, so cruel, it finally sparked a flame in the Arctic granite of my heart. It was time to move from architecture to engineering. I needed to know everything, not just the Haven account, all of it. I needed a complete financial map of Mark's secret empire, and I needed legal standing. The quiet wife needed a lawyer, but not just any lawyer, a shark, a specialist in high net worth divorce and financial fraud. I couldn't use anyone in our social circle. I began researching, reading reviews, articles. I found one. Victoria Thorne. Her firm's tagline was, "When the stakes are everything." Her picture showed a woman in her 50s with sharp eyes and a smile that didn't reach them. Perfect. Dear Miss Thorne, I believe my husband of 10 years has been systematically diverting marital assets to fund a separate hidden household involving a long-term partner and a child. I have preliminary evidence, including secret bank accounts, property held by an LLC, and the partner's identity. I need discreet, aggressive representation to secure all evidence and plan for asset recovery and dissolution. I am prepared to move quickly. Please advise on a secure consultation. I attached a single redacted page from the Haven statement and the deed for the cabin. I hit send. The first stone of the avalanche had been pushed. 3 days later, a reply appeared in the encrypted inbox. Miss Elena, your situation is not uncommon, unfortunately. Your evidence is compelling. Can you meet tomorrow at 11 a.m. at my office? Use the rear entrance. Bring everything. We have much to discuss. I read it, and for the first time since I saw the words Haven account, I didn't feel alone. I had an ally, a legal warrior. Tomorrow, the quiet wife would walk into a lawyer's office and begin the process of legally declaring war. Walking into that building, I felt the last vestige of the quiet wife slip away. The suit was my armor. The file folder in my hand was my sword. I was no longer pleading for attention. I was presenting a case. The rear elevator took me to the 30th floor, to a frosted glass door marked only with a suite number, Victoria Thorne's domain. And I did. For 2 hours, I laid out the map of my betrayal, the decreasing transfers, the old laptop, the prime vault, the password, Sienna, the cabin, the school, the diamond receipt. I showed her my pinboard, now translated into a chronological dossier. Victoria listened, her fingers steepled, her eyes missing nothing. She didn't offer sympathy. She asked precise, cutting questions. Dates, amounts, access methods. The password you used to access Prime Vault 0615, you deduced it was her birthday. That's excellent intuition. It also demonstrates his reckless sentimentality, which we can use. He's clever, but he's emotionally sloppy. He never believed you'd look. When I finished, Victoria was silent for a full minute, looking over the spread of documents on her vast desk. This is one of the more egregious cases of marital asset concealment I've seen. He hasn't just hidden assets, Elena. He's created a separate marital entity. In the eyes of the court, this isn't just adultery. This is financial fraud on a grand scale. Every dollar he put into that Haven system, every payment on that cabin, every tuition fee is a marital asset he has stolen from you. Stolen. She used the word stolen. It was the truth, given legal weight. It was no longer my feeling, it was a fact. Our goal is threefold. 1, full discovery. We need to subpoena every record from Prime Vault, that law firm, the bank, the school. We need to legally establish the full value of the hidden empire. 2, asset freeze. The moment he knows he's exposed, he'll try to move money, sell the cabin. We need to lock it all down before he breathes a word. 3, maximize your recovery. Given the flagrant breach of fiduciary duty, we will be seeking not just 50%, but a punitive majority of the marital estate. He will pay for his secrecy, literally. But timing is everything. We move like a thunderclap. One day, he thinks he has a quiet wife in a hidden paradise. The next, he is served with restraining orders, subpoenas, and a divorce petition that lays out his entire secret life in numbered paragraphs. He will be professionally, socially, and financially annihilated. Annihilated. It was a harsh, beautiful word. This was no longer about my broken heart. It was about balance. The scales had been tipped by his deceit for years. It was time to reset them, with extreme prejudice. There is one more thing we need: proof of the relationship's nature and duration. The financial trail is strong, but a judge will want to understand the personal betrayal's depth. We need evidence of the dual life, photographs, witnesses, something that puts him physically with her and the child at the cabin as a family. My mind raced. I was a quiet observer. It was my greatest skill. "I can get that," I said, my voice calm, certain. "I know where the cabin is. I'll get your proof." Do not approach, do not confront, do not do anything illegal. Observe only, document. Your safety and the legal integrity of our case are paramount. "I understand. I'll just watch." That night, as Mark scrolled through his tablet, oblivious, I studied him. I saw not the husband I loved, but the target of a complex operation. I noted his routines, his tells. He mentioned a fishing trip with clients next weekend, a Friday to Sunday getaway. A cold certainty settled in me. He wasn't going fishing, he was going to the Alpine cabin, to Siena, to his other family. The quiet wife had always trusted him. She'd never felt the need to check. Now her trust was a weapon he'd handed her himself. The trip was confirmed. My reconnaissance mission had a date. Friday arrived. Mark packed a duffel bag with casual clothes, not fishing gear. He kissed my cheek. "Back Sunday night, catch you the big one," he said with a wink. I smiled the quiet wife's smile. "Have fun, dear." The door closed. I waited 10 minutes, then I walked to my closet, not to cry, to change. I pulled out dark, comfortable clothing, sturdy boots, a nondescript hat. I grabbed a long lens camera I'd bought for a photography class years ago, a class he joked was a cute hobby. In my pocket, I placed a brand new, untraceable burner phone. The quiet wife was leaving the house, and she was going to war. I felt like a ghost drifting into a world that had been built to exclude me. The air was crisp, pine-scented, expensive. The cabins were sprawling, modern lodges of glass and timber, tucked among the trees for privacy, perfect for secrets. I parked my rented anonymous sedan in a public trailhead parking lot a half-mile from the community gate. I couldn't drive in. I had to go on foot, like the outsider I was. The woods were silent, respectful of the wealth around them. I moved like a shadow, my heart a steady drum in my ears. This wasn't fear, it was focus. The Blue Got had stopped at a specific address, 225 Aspen Ridge. I found the property line, marked by a low stone wall, and there it was, the Alpine cabin. It was more than a cabin, it was a masterpiece. A huge, beautiful home with a wall of glass facing the mountains. My marital assets had excellent taste. I waited, the observer, the quiet wife's final performance. An hour passed, then movement. The sliding glass door opened, and there he was, Mark. He was wearing jeans and a sweater I'd never seen. He was laughing, relaxed in a way he hadn't been at home in years. He held the door open, and out walked Sienna. She was even more vibrant in person, her hair in a messy bun, holding a mug of coffee. She smiled up at him, and he leaned down and kissed her. Not a peck, a long, familiar, loving kiss. I documented it, frame by frame, the evidence of the life. It should have shattered me. Instead, it solidified my resolve. This was the reality. This was the truth my money was paying for. Then a small figure ran out from the house. A little boy, maybe 5 years old, with dark hair like Mark's. He barreled into Mark's legs, yelling, "Daddy, push me on the swing." Daddy. The word, carried on the thin mountain air, hit me with the force of a physical blow. A child. He had a child. The tuition payments, the monthly support, it all made a new, devastating sense. This wasn't just a mistress. This was a second family, a son. The life he'd perhaps always wanted, built in the shadows while I kept the home fires burning in a house that was just a showroom. The betrayal reached a new, unimaginable depth. He hadn't just stolen my present, he had stolen my future, the future of a family we might have had, the trust that forms the foundation of everything. And she was pregnant. Of course, the hidden empire was expanding. The Haven account would need more funds. The quiet wife would need to be even quieter, even more accommodating. The math of my own erasure was being calculated in real time before my eyes. I had seen enough, more than enough. I had the proof Victoria needed. A family, a life, a son who called him daddy. I lowered the camera. The cold fury within me was now a glacier, ancient and unstoppable. It was time to go home. The reconnaissance was over. The assault was about to begin. As she turns to leave, a twig snaps under her foot. The boy on the swing looks toward the trees, curious. Elena freezes, melting into the shadows. Mark glances over, sees nothing, turns back to his son. She slips away, silent as the ghost she has become.
Think outside the box.
I drove back in the dark, the digital camera heavy on the passenger seat. The images were seared into my mind. That night, in my locked office, I downloaded the photos. They were crystal clear. I compiled them into a PDF, labeled it Exhibit A, the Second Family. I attached it to an email to Victoria. The subject line, Proof of Life. With the click of send, I crossed the line. There was no more turning back. The quiet wife had gathered her army, mapped the battlefield, and captured the enemy's standard. All that was left was to choose the moment to attack, and I knew just when it would be. Back in the city, life resumes its deceptive normalcy. Elena is a master of the performance. She is calm, pleasant, even more attentive. She asks Mark about his fishing trip. He spins a vague tale about trout and quiet lakes. She nods, smiling, pouring him more coffee. I became an actress in the final act of a play he'd written. Every smile was a mask. Every "how was your day" was a line delivered with perfect ironic timing. I studied him like a scientist would study a dangerous, fascinating insect. I noted his tells, the way his eyes flicked to his secret phone when it buzzed, the new password he thoughtlessly tapped into his laptop one morning when he thought I was gardening. 0615SNJ. His angel and their son, Jacob, I presumed. Sentimentality and arrogance, a fatal mix. We chose a date, the day of Mark's firm's biggest annual event, the Partners Gala, a black-tie charity ball where image was everything, where he would be surrounded by colleagues, clients, the pillars of the community he so cherished. The mask would be at its most polished. It was the perfect stage for its shattering. He'll be served at the office that afternoon, but the gala is that evening. He'll still go. He'll try to brazen it out, to maintain appearances. He'll expect me to be there, smiling on his arm, as always. And will you be? I'll be there, I said, but not on his arm. I'll have a different part to play. That night, as he slept, I did one final thing. I logged into the Prime Vault one last time. The Haven account dashboard glowed. I didn't touch anything. I just looked. I took screenshots of the current balances, the transaction history, the final snapshot of his secret kingdom. Then I logged out, cleared the browser history, and went to stand by the bed. I looked at the man who had shared my life, my bed, my dreams. I felt nothing but a vast, silent emptiness. The love had been systematically dismantled, brick by stolen brick. All that remained was the architect, ready to bring the whole structure down. At 9:02 a.m., my phone buzzed with a text from Victoria. One word, frozen. At that exact moment, in a bank server somewhere, the Haven accounts locked. The monthly $7,500 deposit from his business that was due today would bounce. Alerts would start pinging on his secret phone. The first tremor of the earthquake. At 12:15 p.m., Victoria texted again. Served. I pictured it. The process server in the sleek office lobby handing the thick envelope to Mark. The divorce petition, the freeze orders, the subpoenas, all the secrets printed on legal paper, stamped by the court. The mountain of evidence he never saw coming. My phone rang. It was Mark. I let it go to voicemail. He called again, and again. I listened to the first voicemail, his voice tight with controlled panic. Elena, something insane is happening. I've been served with some crazy papers. There's been a mistake, a huge mistake. Call me. We need to talk, now. I deleted the message. The quiet wife was no longer taking his calls. The architect was busy. I had a gala to get ready for. As the sun set, I stood before my own mirror. I applied my makeup with meticulous care. I slipped into the dark green gown. I looked at my reflection, not the quiet wife, but the queen poised to reclaim her throne. My phone buzzed. Dozens of missed calls, frantic texts from Mark. The last one read, where are you? The car is waiting. The gala starts in an hour. This is important." I typed back a single calm sentence. "I'll meet you there." I put the phone down, picked up a small clutch bag. Inside, no lipstick, just a single folded piece of paper. It was time to go to the ball, and tonight, Cinderella wasn't leaving at midnight. She was arriving to burn the castle down. I could feel the energy from the curb, the artificial warmth of money and status. I walked through the opulent lobby, a ghost in a regal gown, moving toward the ballroom. I could already see him, Mark, near the entrance, gripping a champagne flute too tightly. His smile was strained, his eyes darting, scanning the crowd for me. He was a puppet with its strings cut, trying desperately to stand upright. He sees her. His expression floods with a messy mix of relief
Think outside
and
the
fury.
box.
He strides over, grabbing her elbow. "Where have you been? What is going on? Those papers. Elena, we need to leave. Now. We need to talk." "We can talk here, Mark. In public. Isn't that what you love? Appearances." He was off balance. He expected tears, hysteria, the quiet wife's confused anger. He did not expect this glacial poise. "It's not what it looks like. The accounts, the allegations. Someone is trying to destroy me. We are a team. You have to believe me." "A team? Like you and Sienna are a team? Like you and Jacob are a team?" Mark's face goes sheet white. The blood drains so completely he looks like a statue. He is speechless. The name he never thought would pass my lips, hangs in the air between us like a guillotine blade. The shock on his face was my first true taste of justice. It was sweeter than I could have imagined. He was exposed. The mask had a crack, and through it I saw pure, unadulterated fear. How could you? Elena, please. Happy birthday, by the way. June 15th, right? Your angel? At that moment, a senior partner of the firm, Robert Caldwell, approaches, clapping Mark on the back. "Mark, there you are, and the lovely Elena. We were just talking about your generous donation to the charity auction. That week at your mountain cabin is the hottest item." The room seems to tilt for Mark. He opens his mouth, but no sound comes out. Elena turns her perfect smile on Robert. "Oh, Robert, I'm afraid there's been a misunderstanding. Mark must have misspoken. We don't own a mountain cabin." A beat of awkward silence. Robert's smile falters. "No?" He was quite specific. "Alpine cabin in Whispering Pines?" Whispering Pines. How lovely. "No, that's not ours. But Mark does spend a lot of time there, from what I understand, with his interior designer, Sienna, and their little boy, Jacob. It must be their cabin he was offering." The silence around them deepens, spreads. Robert's face freezes. Mark makes a strangled sound. All eyes are on them. I delivered the lines softly, with a hint of puzzled sadness. The perfect performance. I wasn't the angry wife causing a scene. I was the wronged wife, gently correcting a factual error in public. It was a nuclear bomb disguised as a whisper. "Elena, stop. This isn't the place." "Where is the place, Mark? The place where you hid our money, the place where you built your other family, the place where you made me the quiet investor in my own humiliation. Was there a place for that conversation?" She reaches into her clutch, pulls out the folded piece of paper. It's a single photograph, the clearest one from the woods. Mark, Sienna, and Jacob on the swing, a perfect family portrait. She holds it out to him. "This seems to be the place." Mark looks at the photo. His whole world, his secret, beautiful, stolen world, is there in glossy detail in the middle of the ballroom. The pretense collapses. His shoulders slump. The powerful, charming Mark is gone, leaving a hollow, exposed man. He didn't take the photo. He just stared at it, his face a monument to ruin. The whispers around us were now a roar I couldn't hear, but I could feel it, vibrating through the crystal chandeliers. His reputation, his carefully crafted image, was dissolving in real time, like sugar and hot tea. I filed for divorce, Mark. Our joint assets are frozen. The cabin has a lien. The Haven accounts are sealed. You'll be hearing from my lawyer, Victoria Thorne. I'd suggest you get one. You're going to need one. She turns to leave, then pauses, looking back at the shattered man who was once her husband. Oh, and don't bother coming home. The locks have been changed. With that, Elena turns and walks, not with a dramatic stomp, but with a slow, dignified, unwavering pace through the parted crowd, out of the ballroom, leaving a sea of stunned silence in her wake. I didn't look back. I walked through the glittering lobby, out into the cool night air. I didn't call a taxi. I just walked, breathing in the free air. Behind me, the earthquake was still rumbling, destroying the landscape of his life. But ahead of me, there was only quiet, a different kind of quiet, not the silence of being ignored, but the peace of a battle decisively won. The war was over, but the aftermath, the rebuilding of a life, that was about to begin. The fallout was swift and total. Mark was placed on administrative leave from his firm. The scandal was too great, the potential for client distrust too high. The story, of course, leaked. The quiet wife, the hidden mountain family, the frozen millions. It was a tabloid dream. But Victoria controlled the narrative. Every leak came from our side, painting me as the wronged, dignified partner and him as the duplicitous architect of deceit. The discovery process is a tsunami. We have everything. Every transfer, every receipt, every email from the ghost account to Sienna about wallpaper for the nursery. The judge is appalled. He's inclined to rule in our favor on every count. Mark, through his own expensive lawyer, tried to fight. He claimed the cabin was an investment, that Sienna was a business associate, that the child, he initially tried to deny paternity, but a court-ordered test proved it. He was the father. That lie in particular sealed his fate with the judge. A man who would deny his own child to save his assets was a man with no moral currency left to spend. In the end, he capitulated. The settlement gave me 70% of all marital assets, including the value of the business, our home, investments. I was awarded the city house, the stage of my quiet suffering. I was ordered to pay significant child support for Jacob, a fact that gave me no pleasure, only a sense of grim justice. The Alpine cabin was to be sold, the proceeds split, but my lien ensured I was paid first. The Haven accounts funds were returned to the marital pot. I got the lion's share. It wasn't about the money. It was about reclamation, taking back what was mine with interest for the pain. Walking through the empty rooms, I felt no nostalgia, only a profound sense of closure. This was never a home. It was a set. I took a few boxes of books, some photographs from my childhood, the orchid from the coffee table. I left the rest for the stagers. Let it be someone else's perfect mirror. As she is leaving, her phone buzzes. An unknown number. A text. "Elena, it's Sienna. I know I have no right, but I need to talk to you. Please." Elena stares at the message. The other woman, the angel. A part of her wants to delete it, to block the number. But another part, the architect, is curious. Sienna, the face from the photograph, the beneficiary of the lie. What could she possibly have to say to me? An apology? Justification? I didn't owe her a conversation, but maybe I owed it to myself to hear the other side of the story, not from Mark's lying lips, but from hers, to complete the picture. I typed a reply. "There's a coffee shop on 5th and Grand. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. I hit send. The quiet wife had faced down her husband in a ballroom. Now she would face the woman in the mountain cabin, the final piece of the puzzle. I wasn't afraid. I was, for the first time in a long time, completely in control of my own story. I didn't offer sympathy. I didn't offer coffee. I was a wall of calm. She seemed to gather herself, her hands trembling around her own cup. "He told me you were separated, that it was amicable, that you had your own life, your own arrangement. He said you were a socialite, that you didn't care about him, that you stayed for the lifestyle. He showed me pictures of you at galas, looking distant. He said you were just waiting for the right time to make it official. The cabin, he said it was an investment property. The account, for our future, for Jacob. He said you had your own money, your own family wealth. He made it sound so logical, so clean. I never wanted to hurt anyone. I thought I was building a life with a man who was free to love me. A single tear traces down Sienna's cheek. She looks genuinely devastated, but also naive. I believed her, not about everything, but about her ignorance. She was a victim too, in a different way. A victim of his charm, his lies, his constructed reality. He had built a cage for me in the city and a pretty prison for her in the mountains. We were both inmates, just in different wings. He lied to you, just like he lied to me. The money in the Haven account was ours, marital assets. The lifestyle you enjoyed was funded by my silence, by my work, by our shared past. He didn't just betray me, he used you as the instrument of that betrayal. I know that now. When the accounts froze, when the lawyers started calling, when he tried to deny Jacob, I saw who he really was. The man I loved was a character he played. She takes a deep, shuddering breath. I'm leaving. I'm going back to my family in another state. I'm selling everything from the cabin. I don't want his blood money. I needed to look you in the eye and say I'm sorry. I am so terribly, terribly sorry for the part I played, even unknowingly, in your pain. Elena looked at this young, ruined woman, carrying Mark's second child. The anger she expected to feel doesn't come. There is only a deep, weary sadness. The child support from the settlement is for Jacob. Use it for him, for his future. Don't be proud. That's his responsibility. Your responsibility is to protect your children from his toxicity. That's the only advice I'll give you. I didn't forgive her. Forgiveness wasn't mine to give, not for this. But I saw her not as a rival, but as another casualty of Mark's war on truth. We were both collateral damage. Thank you. She gets up to leave, then turns back. For what it's worth, he underestimated you. He talked about the quiet wife like you were furniture. He was a fool. With that, she walked away. Elena sat, finishing her coffee, watching the world go by outside the window. Quiet wife. He'd said it as an insult, a description of my irrelevance. But in the end, my quiet had been my strength. It had allowed me to observe, to plan, to gather strength while he grew complacent in his deception. The loudest sound in the world isn't a scream. It's the deafening silence that follows the collapse of a lie.
Think outside the box.
I paid for the coffee and stepped out into the sun. My phone buzzed. A text from my realtor. Offer accepted on the apartment. All yours. I smiled, a real smile that reached my eyes. I had a new home, a quiet one. But this quiet was mine. It was peace. The architect's work was done. Now it was time for the woman to live. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. I served mine in a ballroom on legal parchment, and it was frigid. But this isn't about revenge anymore. This is about the morning after, the quiet that follows the storm.
Think outside
Mark's
the box.
life unfolded as predicted. His firm asked him to resign. The scandal made him untouchable in his old circles. He moved to a smaller city, tries to rebuild. I hear through the grapevine he's struggling. The money he hid so carefully is mostly gone. To me, to child support, to legal fees. The empire of secrets is dust. As for me, I sold the House of Mirrors. The proceeds, along with my settlement, mean I never have to worry about money again. But more importantly, I never have to be quiet again unless I choose to be. I took a writing course. I'm telling stories now. My stories. I travel. I have reconnected with friends I drifted from during my quiet years. I have a life that is entirely, authentically, loudly mine. The moral of this story isn't that revenge is sweet. It's that silence is powerful, but only when you choose it. There is a world of difference between the silence imposed upon you and the silence you wield. My silence was my prison, until I learned to use it as my library, my observation deck, my arsenal. I learned to listen to the whispers others thought I couldn't hear. I learned to watch the shadows others thought I couldn't see. If you take anything from my story, let it be this: never, ever underestimate the quiet one, the one who observes, the one who listens, the one who smiles and nods while the world talks over her. We are not weak. We are gathering data. We are building a case. We are calculating the trajectory of the earthquake that will reset the fault lines of our lives. Betrayal, it doesn't always come with a shout. Sometimes it's the slow, silent siphon of a shared account. Sometimes it's the gentle erosion of your place in someone's world until you've disappeared. But remember, the architect of a lie is always vulnerable. They build on a foundation of secrets, and secrets have a way of cracking under the slightest pressure. My name is Elena. I was the quiet wife. Then I discovered his hidden account, and in doing so, I discovered my own hidden strength. I didn't just reclaim my money, I reclaimed my voice, my time, my future. The greatest revenge is not destruction, it is reconstruction, building a life so solid, so true, so vibrant, that the memory of the betrayal becomes just a footnote in the story of how you became unbreakable. Be quiet if it serves you, but never let them make you silent.